Hey everybody, and welcome to Is This Adulting, the mental health comedy podcast you never knew you needed. I'm not usually the one who intros this show. I'm best friend number 2, Christopher Ulysses Grimmett. It's my middle name that no one knew about. And I know what all of you must be thinking. Chris, where is Steven? What have you done with him? And the answer is simple. I've been slowly poisoning him for roughly a decade. Finally, his antibodies have started to cave in, and our long-time rivalry seems to have reached its climactic end. Just kidding. Steven's sick. He's got food poisoning. He's going through some real body stuff. Yeah, it is a type of poison in a way. He's experiencing. Let me just say, this is maybe being a little graphic for people, so I apologize. But I did text him earlier in the wise words of TLC. Don't go chasing waterfalls. And his phrase was, my body is a waterfall at the moment. And I think that gives you enough info that you need to know there. We'll keep going. Yeah. However, I am not alone. I am with friends. Take that, bullies from 3rd grade. I did it. I proved you wrong. So I'm going to introduce who are my wonderful friends with me today. So first of all, in the left corner of the ring, our incredibly talented friend of the show who will be co-hosting with me, none other than the writer, the creator, the superstar of the audio drama podcast Girl in Space, as well as the #1 podcast for all aspiring writers called Right Now. That's a pun. Deal with it. I want to welcome Sarah Werner to the show. Sarah, hello.
Hello, friends and best friends. I'm so excited to be here.
It's so nice to be able to be back together again.
It really is.
It wasn't that long ago that we got to see each other in person, but we haven't recorded in a very long time together.
I know. I'm really looking forward to this, and it's kind of nice to see your face again after, I think it was a whole week without it.
I know. I appreciate you saying that. Once again, it's nice for someone to appreciate my face. Take that, bullies. Sorry, I'm going through some stuff today. However, I'm so glad to have a co-host, but we always have to bring a guest on, and I'm really excited to introduce now in the right corner our new best friend. He is a 25-year-old man who until very recently in the last year or so had never read a Harry Potter book. And so he recorded a podcast about it and is on the way to developing very strong feelings about Quidditch, which I've recently found out about. Please welcome to the show, Mike Schubert. Mike, what's up?
Hello. How's it going? Hello, friends and best friends. Just a warning, I have turned 26. I have just...
Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah,
They grow up so fast.
They grow up so fast. The whole thing with the labeling of Potterless is that when I started it, I was 24, and it felt weird to say grown man at age 24. But in February, I'm turning 27, and once I turn 27, I will change all of the branding of Potterless rather than saying a 25-year-old man, which it says everywhere because most episodes I'm 25.
Sure.
Once I turn 27, I'm officially just gonna say I'm a grown man now. I'm in my late 20s.
You're gonna be doing this podcast for 40 years, and you're just gonna keep going into that same 25-year-old brand, and everyone's gonna be able to tell, hey everybody, it's me. Excuse me, my boils are everywhere.
I'll be staying true to my Vine roots and being an old man pretending to be a young person.
Why are his boils everywhere?
I don't know. I am still learning about the aging process. Give me time. All right. It didn't take long for me to host this before we've already gotten off topic. I apologize. Before we do anything, though, I know what I'm supposed to do, and that is when there are fellow popular, or no, I'm not popular, but I have 2 popular people with me at the moment that are entertainers and everything else. I'm supposed to let you tell things about yourself, like, hey, where can I find you and your projects online? So I'm going to do that. So, Mike, start off. Tell us where we can find you.
Hi. First, you're super cool. Don't worry about the word popular. It's the worst word ever. But there are other words that are worse, but popular is a silly one. If you want to follow me, I work on 2 podcasts, the first of which is Potterless. As discussed, I never read the Harry Potter books as a kid, so it's me reading them for the first time as an adult. My guest is always a Harry Potter expert, someone obsessed with the series. I go through a couple of chapters at a time. I'm on chapter 25 of book 7, reading-wise right now. So Voldemort just got the Elder Wand, so for you 2, don't say anything past that. If it comes up
Spoilers.
naturally.
Okay.
And then the other podcast I work on is called Horse. It's a basketball podcast about everything except for the actual sport. So we just talk about the silly and ridiculous elements of the NBA. So Twitter beefs, player drama, conspiracy theories, all sorts of fun stuff like that. We tell modern stories from back in the day, rank our best and worst things. It's very fun. It's very silly. For Potterless, just go to potterlesspodcast.com, and for Horse, go to horsehoops.com, or just search either of those two words in your podcasting app, because search bars have become really good in 2019.
They really have. Wow. That's one of the few things that I can say, well done, technology, in 2019.
Except for Reddit.
Sarah,
Reddit search is still garbage sauce.
That's true. There are some parts of Reddit that make me scared to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I would say that there are places in Reddit that are equivalent to what Steven is experiencing right now. Once again, not getting too graphic, but Sarah, tell us, where can we find you and all of your projects?
Well, hi. Let's see. So I, like you said in your beautiful and eloquent introduction, I have two podcasts. One of which is the Right Now podcast, and that's WRITE, because, as you said, puns are amazing. And I've been doing that one since 2014, 15? I don't remember. But you can find...
2014 is my favorite Norwegian year.
It was such a beautiful time. The wine from that year.
Divine.
It's just to die for. Yeah. It really was able to hit my tannins in a way that no other gear could.
Ooh.
Yeah, I recently learned a little bit more about tannins, and now I've become a monster, and I refer to tannins in everything, not just wine.
Good, because I didn't want to correct you about what tannins were, but you don't have
I don't know what tannins are.
What's your favorite tannin? My favorite tannin is Biff.
Yeah, let's be honest. I don't even fully know. I just like to say tannins for everything now. So I'm not skilled at certain things such as this, but that's okay. So what we were talking about, things that you're skilled at, Sarah. So you're skilled at writing.
Yes, writing and tannins. 2014. And you can find that out on iTunes, all of your favorite podcatchers. You can also find it out on sarahwerner.com. That's SARAHWERNER.com. You can also find my other show, which launched in 2017. It's called Girl in Space. It is about a girl in space. And it isn't, I know, right? It's just, people get really mad when I tell them what it's about, because they're like, yes, it's in the title, tell me more. And I'm like, I can't, because spoilers. But yeah, you can find that
I did the opposite,
again
where my
on
basketball
any
podcast is called Horse. It's the opposite. People are like, it's not about horses? No, it's about basketball. That's why we called it Horse.
Oh my gosh. I just can imagine.
I actually didn't know you were the co-host.
Oh, I am. It's me and my good bud, Eric Silver.
I love the idea that there are tons of disappointed cowboys out there and cowgirls that that find your podcast, are super excited, and immediately get disappointed. I don't know.
I was saying this at PodCon. I really hope that the horse podcasting community is really mad at us, because horse podcasts, unfortunately, not a huge market. So I'm pretty sure Horse is already the most popular podcast that is even tangentially related to horses.
See,
and I just want
fact.
I just want people to be like super mad, like, God damn it, those horse guys, they're not even about horse riding.
Are you ready to learn a very interesting fact?
Yes.
All right. So me and Sarah, the place that we met was at a pod convention thingy in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
While there, I met a person that has an entire podcast network dedicated on horses, and it has millions of downloads?
Yeah. I saw the dude on the marketing. Was this Podcast Movement or a different one? Because he was at Podcast Movement and I couldn't go because
was it Glenn?
I don't know. It was some dude who runs the
name.
horse network, the horse race. It's the horse podcast network or something.
Yeah,
it's something. And I saw that on the promotional material for Podcast Movement, and then I couldn't go because it was the same weekend as when I got my job in New York and moved from Seattle. So I was like, I can't do this. But maybe it was for the best, because he probably would have tried to murder me.
All I'm saying is this: there's big tobacco, there's big tech, and big pharma, but no one knows about Big Horse the way that Glenn does.
Right.
Which I think that's his name, and if then
I think that's him.
Then it's too late, because he's going to have to change his name to Glenn, because that's too perfect of a name.
It's fitting.
Because he wears a cowboy hat everywhere.
Yeah,
he had that
does.
white cowboy hat. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he fits the part well. So I'm sorry, Sarah, I interrupted you while you were telling me. Oh, we both did. Men, that's us.
We're so bad.
So why don't you finish telling us about Girl in Space and whatever else that you would like to share?
Okay. Let's see. It was like coming to the end of this beautiful. This denouement that I was going toward. No, I'm kidding. I was just rambling about my show. It's you can find it.
Tannins,
it's at Tannins and Tangents, which should be your wine podcast that you can now produce.
Buy tanninandtangents.com right now.
Oh my God!
Get it now. I bet
Tannins
it's
and
available.
Tangents with Glenn. Oh gosh.
Girlinspacepodcast.com.
Thank you.
Go it now.
And this is the reason why Christopher is not usually allowed control. Because nothing would get done.
So Tannin and Tangents is not the name of a podcast yet, but there is a podcast called Rise and Wine, and their third episode is called Tannin and Tangents.
Okay, so this is what I want us to do for the rest of this evening that we are sharing together, or whenever people are listening to this podcast. You know how sometimes, you've literally got wine right there. That's
it's
perfect.
empty, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
It was a $10 bottle of wine. It doesn't even have a cork in it. It's a red corkless wine. It is not fancy. It is just on the floor of my room from Saturday night.
Floor wine. It's one of my favorites.
You literally have like bottles strewn about your floor. I like that about you.
So, I think that when people have like those moments where, when someone says something really profound and they just like snap and they're like, yes, I think instead we should just snap and we should just go tannins. So that's the new thing that is going to hit.
I like it.
It's going to hit the nation by storm. So, okay, let's keep going because I know that Steven is listening to this somewhere, still sick, and he's cringing for multiple reasons.
You haven't done anything.
Should I be Steven? Like, should I be like, guys, let's get on track here? Like, should I do that?
Maybe so. I don't know. I mean, if you're Steven right now, then you shouldn't be here because bad things are happening.
Just
but anyway,
waterfalls.
I don't mean to laugh at his food
we love you, Steven.
But I said "but" multiple times by mistake. Sorry. Okay. We're children, and we're going to start off this week like we do every week, and that is with our mental health check-in. I promise this show is actually about caring about you and your voice and you and all of our struggles combined. And so, Sarah, why don't you start us off this week? How has this week been for you?
I have just been all over the place this week, if I'm being honest with you. Part of it is because we just all came back from PodCon, which was very draining and exhausting, and I am an introvert. And I was an extrovert forcibly for 4 days in a row. But that might be part of it. The other part of it is I just had a whole bunch of imposter syndrome this week. I'm launching a course for the first time in my life, and I won't advertise for it here, but I just feel so unprepared to do it, and I'm second guessing everything, even though our entire budget for the year is based on this. It's just been a stressful nightmare. My face is all breaking out. I feel like I'm back in college finals again a little bit. So that's kind of been my week.
I'm sorry you're going through that.
Thank you.
I think that it's amazing to me how often whenever I've been asked to do anything, whether it's present something or share something, it's amazing how the moment that I'm asked to do that, I feel all of my knowledge and capabilities go away, and I'm going back to how in the hell do I get through this without looking like a complete moron? So
you're just instantly not good enough.
Yeah. So, but we know that's not true because we know that you are in fact good enough because you used a fancy word earlier that I cannot even begin to replicate. I don't know what you even said. That's how fancy it was. People go and listen back to the tape. I could hear that 1,000 times and I still would not be able to repeat it. So
it was denouement. Denouement.
Okay. Well, clearly I am in the presence of two Einsteins.
Denouement is a synonym for hors d'oeuvre.
Wow.
I have no idea what it means.
I was like, that's maybe not correct, but I like your enthusiasm.
Yeah, I was going to believe it. I was totally okay with it.
I have no idea what it means.
Well, I hope that you're able to, once you kind of start getting to the swing of things, Sarah, you're going to be able to realize that you know what you're doing, and there's a reason why you're the one teaching this class, and you're a very kind and compassionate person, and that's exactly who needs to be teaching classes, because we've all had those meanie teachers out there that make you feel horrible about yourself, and you ain't one of them. Bam.
Thank you for saying that.
Tannins, everyone.
Tannins,
right? Or just a round of tannins.
I like that. So, Mike, how have you been this week?
I've been good. It's been interesting. I think before PodCon, I was way more stressed about stuff because a lot of things have changed in my life recently. I moved from Seattle to New York in October. And then starting in January, my podcast went from being bi-weekly to being weekly. So I doubled the amount of stuff that I was producing. And that's a lot since I do almost all the stuff for the show. It's just like me, and then my girlfriend Kelly helps out with like website stuff and some other logistical things. But I'm doing the hosting and the reading and the editing and stuff. So it was stressful.
Goodness.
But I think that, and the other thing on top of it is that my new job is good in that it's in like digital marketing and podcast advertising, so it's something I actually care about, but it is definitely more intense. So in addition to my podcast becoming more of a time suck, work is also more of a time suck. So I'm just like running out of time to do stuff. So that was stressful, but going to PodCon really helped, and it kind of put all of it into perspective in terms of like why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I was able to meet a lot of really cool people and see some people that I already knew and get to know some people that I've known previously better, talk to people about the podcasts that I work on, and just kind of like see the upward direction of where I'm headed in that world, which is eventually something I would like to do full time. So I think PodCon was a really helpful weekend for me to like put into perspective, like, yes, I'm like stressed and like spreading myself thin, but it's for a good reason, because ultimately I will get to a point where I can just be doing podcast stuff full time. And I kind of like saw the writing on the wall of like what's out there. So it was good to kind of like, it was kind of like seeing like not just the light at the end of the end of the tunnel, but like what is outside of the tunnel. So I'm still like in it, and I'm still like stressed out in terms of I got a lot of stuff to do and I have to like really be on it. But now I'm more driven because I know what's there and like what can be and like what this work is leading towards. So I still need to be better about being more productive with my time and being more on top of things so that I have the time to relax and stuff like that. But it was nice to kind of see what's out there and put it all into perspective.
Yeah. What is that? I'm curious. What does that rescheduling look like for you? Because I've kind of found that when I take on more and more and more stuff, time is more scarce and something has to give.
Right. So definitely something did give. I, in Seattle, did a ton of improv comedy. And since moving to New York, I've just not. And it was fine. The other thing is like I was long distance with my girlfriend. She lives in New York. She was part of the reason why I moved. So that became more of a time commitment, but in a good way. But a lot of what I was doing with the improv was just like my friends were the people I did improv with. And now I already have friends here in New York that I do podcasting stuff with, or my girlfriend, or people that I knew from college. So improv just felt like less necessary, especially because so much of my podcasting stuff is improvised. So that kind of went away. And then the real thing is like I used to basically alternate between relaxing weeks where Potterless wasn't being released, and then more stressful weeks when it was getting released and I had to finish all the editing. And now just every week is a more stressful week, which is fine. But like there are things that are like starting to go a little bit more and more like I can't be as active on social media with the Potterless accounts, like replying to every message or stuff like that. So it's little things like that, which has just kind of made me, in a good way, like it's made me just focus on what's important. And I'm starting to understand like things that I just don't have the time for, and being able to say like, that's okay. You can't do everything. You have to sometimes let some things go. And that's all right. Which is like in a good way, where like sometimes if someone will send me like a harshly worded email, like your show sucks, rather than me be like, here's a 5-page thesis statement about why my show does not suck. Actually, instead, I'll just be like, I don't have time for this. I'm going to delete your email, Richard. And then that's that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Can I just tell you, I have a really I don't know if this is a good idea or if this is a bad idea. But so if someone sends you a horrible, nasty message, can you just respond with Avada Kedavra?
Ooh, that would be good. What I have been doing...
I mean, is that considered a death threat? Would the police come after you?
I have been replying to really mean ones with just, thanks for listening to the show, with an exclamation point. And I think that's the best response, because not only does it mean I let them know, like, yes, I definitely read it, and I also don't care about whatever you just told me.
Yes. I think that is a much more mature way of handling than what I have just given you.
Yours is funnier, or at least a different type of humor.
That. Yeah, I appreciate that. Wow, death threats. That's a funny thing.
Let's pretend.
Yeah, it's true. Or is it? Anyway, sorry, I'm doing a theme right now. I already said earlier I pretended to poison Steven, so I'm leaning into that bit.
Yeah, food poisoning in that you just put poison in his food. That's his food poisoning.
Right.
PodCon has changed me, everyone. I'm a different person. I met a bunch of true crime podcasters, and now I'm going away from the comedy.
That'll do it.
You're becoming the true crime.
Yeah, you know what? That's where the money is. And so that's what I'm
it
gonna
is
do.
Terrifying. Now that I work in podcast advertising, it makes me so uncomfortable with all of these podcast networks talking about true crime and then thinking of how to monetize it. It's like if anyone listening, or if you guys like do anything with true crime, that's fine. You do you. I'm not a big fan of it. Just of how like gross it's gotten to me. The thing that is the worst is I had a meeting with someone at work, and their network is like, oh, yeah, so you know how they just caught the Golden State Killer? Now we can make a show based off that. And I was like, that's not the right response to this. The right response would be like, thank goodness this person is behind bars. They were a horrible garbage person for many years and did
families have gotten closure.
Yeah. But they're like, oh, good. Now we can make money by making a true crime documentary series. Like, disgusting.
Yeah. And I respect everyone who loves true crime. I'm too much of a scaredy boy. And I listen to 10 minutes and I immediately... Have you ever watched Criminal Minds before?
I have not, but I can understand the vibe.
So let me tell you, I have a rule about Criminal Minds, and that is I can't watch more than 2 at one time. And the reason why is because then when I go to the grocery store, every person I see, I'm convinced they're a murderer, and be like, this is how it started out in that one episode. And so it's like, to protect myself from my own fears, I have to be careful. But I haven't shared mine yet, have I? Oh gosh, it's so funny. I'm never the last one. Thank you. Oh, that was such a nice, kind way of asking. I've been pretty good as well when it comes to, I've been reflecting a lot on PodCon. So this is my first larger event with many people who are in every range from doing podcasting full time to they're working towards that, to this is like a part-time thing and that's what they like. And I think, for me, imposter syndrome is definitely part of it, but even for me, it's kind of different. I felt really inspired being around all these people, and I was really encouraged. And I, came back and it started working, and I think it's no different than whether it's like a New Year's resolution or something. Once you kind of start getting back into your own routine, some of that inspiration can start to like dwindle, and you can be frustrated at yourself and go, why can't I find myself? Won't even word this. Like, how can I continue to move at the rate and have the same type of optimism that I had?
Momentum,
and it's, for me, I think like that's the thing that in so many areas, whether it's trying to do podcasting or I'm trying to do better at taking care of myself, it's just a matter of how often I lose momentum and find myself, maybe I'm getting somewhat, not deep, but just poetic here, of just like I start finding myself experiencing friction, and things start slowing me down. And before long, I'm back to watching a lot of Netflix and saying, I'll do that tomorrow. And so I feel like it hit me a little bit sooner than it usually does after something encouraging. And I do feel I can get out of that, but it's just always those moments where it kind of like scares you, where it's just like, and not like scares you, but just worries you of saying, like, can I be more than what I am? Or I know I can be, but will that anxious side of me that would rather just say, hey, finding an excuse to make this not work, because then you can't get sad if it doesn't work. Like, that's what it comes down to. It's that literal third grade bully again that is just haunting you. So what I'm telling everyone is go to third grade, find a bully and beat them. No, I'm joking. No, don't do that at all. Don't hurt them at all. They're third graders and you're an adult. So
they're precious tiny children.
They are precious tiny children. Give them hugs and tell them to stop being bullies, because they're just bullies they're their own bullies in a way. We're moving off topic, but that's kind of just what I've been kind of processing and figuring that out. And this is not the first time that's happened with, and it's not just been about podcasting. It just seems like it continues to be a cycle that I experience, and just trying to process how can I do a better job of caring.
One thing that has really helped me is something I learned actually through a productivity seminar thing that we had at work.
Ooh.
Because I work in a big open floor office, and there have been talks with us getting bigger and bigger that people are getting more and more distracted and less focused. So they had like a dude come in and talk about how to be more productive. And one thing that has helped me in work, but also with Potterless, because like the Patreon is very big and I have to like send out a bunch of like stickers and shirts and all that. And I keep telling myself, like you're saying, it's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And then a month goes by and I'm like, oh, I haven't done anything. I don't know if there's like an official name for this method, but it's basically like you pick like a small number of something and you know that you can do it every day, and then you just like commit to it. So for example, I have been doing where I just mail out 5 envelopes worth of the stickers, which is like not hard to do. That'll maybe take 15, 20 minutes. And normally if I ever have a weekend where I sit down, I'll knock out like 30 of them and I feel great. But rather than saying I'll do it tomorrow for 7 days in a row, if I'd done 5 every day, I would have done 35 and I would have passed it anyway. So it's just like this little thing of like, pick a number you know you can hit every day and then just do it every day. And that can be anything. That can be like if your goal was to be more fit and you're just like, I'm going to do 10 push-ups a day, which maybe that's just like all you can handle. That's fine. Or just like, I'm going to run half a mile a day. Something that like you know you can hit, and then just commit to it and just say to yourself like, today's not ending because I got to do this thing. Even if it's like super easy, I'm going to eat like 4 grapes, like whatever it is. Just commit to something like super simple, and then say you're going to do it every day. And then like little by little, it adds up. And then once you're more, once you're used to hitting that easy mark, then maybe you ramp up the difficulty. It's been really good for me. I've only started doing it in like the past week, and it's been nice.
Good.
Yeah, that's how you form new habits, and then that's how you change. Like that's how you build lasting change. I was thinking about that too. Yeah. Did I interrupt you?
No, I was just sitting there and just thinking, what is it? They say it's something like 21 days to form a habit or something like that. It just upsets me because I wish forming a new habit could happen in 2 days. Wouldn't that be so much nicer? Think about how productive all of us would be all of the time if habits only took 2 days. We would all have 6-pack abs.
But then bad habits would take just as short amount of time, and we'd be blobs watching Netflix.
We'd all be, I'd be bad.
Oh my gosh! Wow, tannins. Great point. Wow, I did not think about that. Interesting. So maybe that's a good thing after all.
Maybe
it takes 21 days.
I also have like all these things I want to say about like self-sabotage and your internal thermometer, but do we need to like?
Get the ball rolling?
Keep moving on?
Gosh,
do I need to be the Steven here?
You're being Steven again. I appreciate that. Well, and we're gonna talk about some other stuff in the kind of same vein in just a few minutes. But as always, friends, we are so grateful that you listen to us talk about what's going on in our lives. But we also want you to know that if you want to share what's going on in yours, we'd love to hear it. So if you have any mental health check-in that you would like to share with us, any idea of how we can encourage you throughout the week, please just email us over at our email. It's isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. We don't always necessarily respond to everything, but please know everything is being read and thought about and sending you good vibes. So please know that you always have that option to be able to go to. And before we move on to our topic, Mike, there's a few things that we've got to do. We've got to get a few things off our mind that we just got to know in our weekly We Gotta Know segment.
Cool.
So I have sent out a request to all of our best friends in our Facebook group and gotten a couple questions that they just got to know.
All right.
So we're going to start off with best friend Katie ask, if Mike could pick one thing in the Harry Potter books to get rid of, whether that be a character, a plot point, or anything for that matter, what would it be?
This is so
interesting,
tricky.
right?
It's a good one. Yeah.
This is
I know.
really
I was like, wow, that's really deep.
Yeah. I mean, like the obvious selection, what they're probably hinting at is me to say Quidditch, which I feel like I can say something more profound. I feel like I want this to be a really good one. And this is, I guess this is more so in the movies, but kind of in the books. I want to I know what I want. I want just like getting rid of like any stereotype that's in there that hasn't aged super well. And that can be anything with like, oh, girls, they're so dramatic. Like Cho Chang's entire character arc is that she cries. Well, it's like, yeah, her boyfriend just died. She's allowed to. Or the thing that like Dean Thomas, who is the one of the few kids who's confirmed to be black in the books, is an absentee father. Like, can we not, J.K. Rowling?
Yeah.
So I think like anything that at the time, because these are written in like the late 90s, early 2000s, that like wasn't as bad, but now we look back and we're like, ooh, sheesh. If we could remove those, that'd be nice. Because then I feel like it would make the books age a little bit better, and then J.K. Rowling wouldn't have to go on this whole big like apology tour where she like tries to act woke even though she messed up, and rather than just admit defeat, she's like, no, it wasn't bad. There were definitely Jewish kids there, stuff like that. I'd say that's just removing anything that is
a great answer. Mine was going to be the Dursleys because I hate them. But they're
kind of the impetus for the whole story.
Yeah, that's true. I just still don't like them.
The chapters about them were always a trudge to read. I hated reading the first 2 chapters of every book before the 6th. Because it's just like, all right, we get it. They suck. I don't want to read about them anymore. I want to learn about the cool things and the fun magic.
I just, they weren't the Weasleys, and that's all I could say. But all right, so next question that our best friends just got to know. It comes from best friend Liz. Said, Mike, you have shared that you are a Gryffindor, but after reading the books, do you still feel that is the best house that represents you, or would you change?
No, 1,000,000% Gryffindor. If anything, it has strengthened my knowledge of me being a Gryffindor. I've told this story before, but I'll say it here. When I was first taking the Pottermore quiz before I even read Harry Potter stuff, I just did it because Pottermore was new and everyone was doing it. I took the quiz. I thought I was going to get a Hufflepuff because I was like, I'm nice. I have friends and stuff. I'm loyal, blah, blah, blah. And the old quiz, they used to ask you a question, and there'd be like 4 answers, and that each answer would basically represent a house. And then there would be a follow-up question, which would narrow it down between the two. So one was like, if someone was in danger, would you help them? And then one of the answers, the Gryffindor answer, was like, yes, no matter what. So I picked that. And then the follow-up question was like, if you help them, would you want people to know about it? And it was yes or no. And I was like, well, yeah. So I picked yes. And then I was like, okay, Gryffindor, not Hufflepuff. And then just as I've read the books more and more, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's no surprise of someone that makes a podcast that's largely about me that I don't mind being in the spotlight. And it's something that I try to balance with, is like not having that be too much where I become like narcissistic and selfish and gross. But yeah, I think I have a bit more of a Gryffindor edge than a Hufflepuff. If I was to change to anything, it would be Hufflepuff. But really, we just don't get enough info about them in the books to see what they're really like. I feel like so much of Hufflepuff definition and Ravenclaw and even Slytherin too is just from people kind of like deciding as a fandom what it should be, or using outside material. Like the whole Hufflepuffs are good finders thing is something that I feel like is very wildly popular, and that's from a Harry Potter musical. So not canon in any way, but people act like it is. So I don't think we like know enough about the other houses to really make that call. But from what we've learned about Gryffindor, I think I fit it pretty well.
Makes sense. Sarah, do you know what house you were in?
I do, and this might surprise you.
Okay.
I'm Slytherin.
Whoa, so you're racist. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I'm evil, and I like to hurt and kill people. No.
So you support all the things that J.K. Rowling wrote. I see. I was wondering why you were smiling and nodding the whole entire time you said that. So you're Slytherin.
But I'm like nice Slytherin. I'm like
fandom Slytherin.
I have ambition, but I use it for good.
That's good.
That makes sense. I don't know what I am. I've taken it like, no joke, like 15 times, and I've gotten a different answer. Well, I mean, not every time because there's only 4 houses, but I have commonly gotten Ravenclaw.
I could see
That was my first guess for you.
Sometimes Gryffindor. In the sense of, here's a good example. When I was in 5th grade, this gives a little bit. I don't even know if this is a Gryffindor thing or not. This is very Hermione of me. I will say this. I was very upset because my elementary school, someone got hurt throwing like one of the like basketballs or something, and so the school decided we're going to take all of that away, and so the kids no longer have any like. Not toys. What am I trying to say? Like just
equipment?
Yeah, equipment to play with. And I was very upset. And so I drafted a large petition and printed it on craft paper, like an entire declaration, pretty much, and had the entire 5th grade sign it. And I won. So
Dude,
booyah.
That's the most Ravenclaw thing you could have done.
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm
Okay,
going to
maybe
go
so.
to the legal system.
Okay,
Yes.
that's right. I'm a
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw. There we go. That's what's important. Okay.
The other thing that
makes
makes it a note that you're a Ravenclaw, and this is something that I talked about with the hosts of Flipendo, which is a Harry Potter podcast that's run by some lovely Canadian folks. One of the co-hosts, he says he gets Ravenclaw, and he's like, I just don't know that I am. I've taken 5 different quizzes, each 10 times, and we're just like, yeah, that's why you're a Ravenclaw. So you saying you've taken it a bunch, I think you're pretty securely a Ravenclaw.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad to have this this moment of clarity, which is good. So I appreciate it. All right, so Mike, this is the last one.
Okay.
And I have to be honest, this one's for me.
All right.
Mike, on your page for Potterless, it says that you have been referred to at times as the sexiest voice in podcasting.
Right.
We want to put that to the test in this very moment.
Okay.
So I have put together a strange pickup line that I'm
Okay.
going to send to you
Good.
over chat.
Okay.
And I want you to read it out in your most sexy voice, and we're going to see if you are, in fact, the sexiest voice in town.
And I really goofed by letting my girlfriend make the website.
Yeah.
That was from an iTunes review, but she saw it. She was like, I'm using this. And I was like, okay.
So I, without a doubt, anyone who knows me is going to know that 100% I'm the one who wrote this horrible. It's not even a
excited.
pickup
I
line.
can't even wait
As you
to
keep
hear
writing
it.
it, I will say my favorite pickup line, which is, have you seen your doctor lately? Because I think you need more vitamin me.
Oh, God.
The worst. Awful garbage pickup line.
Let me say, this is not so much of a pickup line as a very funny idea that I came up with a couple years ago that we'll talk about in 2 seconds afterwards. So
very
be
excited.
prepared, Mike, for
Okay.
words you never thought that you'd have to say, and I need you to say it in the most
Okay. Yeah.
in the most
I'm going to have to take a sip of water to really get in the
seductive
zone.
way that you can possibly think.
I'm sorry, I just read it.
You did, and it is. I
That's
don't know
good.
how to explain
Okay.
what it is. So.
Man, the pressure is on. Let's see. Hey, girl. Have you ever been with a man that's never lost his baby teeth?
Sorry. Okay. Sexy. That
was good.
I
That was good.
have told you it's sexy. So let me explain to you real fast my random joke. I was talking about just in general, like the whole idea of like club culture and how like, you know, as anyone who can hear me speak will be able to tell, I have never been to a club because they wouldn't let me in. The reason why I was having this conversation was I was just like, man, this is such an interesting concept to me of everything from not even really getting to know a person, just immediately just grinding on them and everything. And some of my female friends were talking about how frustrating it can be to just be like randomly hit on and just nonstop. And I told them, this is what you need to do whenever someone starts hitting on you uncontrollably, you just need to turn to them and you need to whisper in their ear, I still have all my baby teeth. And immediately,
it's pretty good.
They will run away, which is what they deserve to do. And it just became like a really funny like concept to me of just like, man, this has got to be something. And yeah, I don't know how that got to happen, but it did. So, that was some we got to know, and I appreciate all of that, and some things we probably didn't need to know, but I can't help it now. So, but if any of you have something that you just got to know and you want to ask one of our future guests, well, then just submit your questions by finding out who our next week's guest is by going to our Facebook discussion group, the Is This Adulting Best Friends, and you'll be able to find out. And now we're going to get into the actual topic, believe it or not. It only took me way longer than anticipated.
All right.
So I'm really excited about this, and I want to kind of just give a quick preface, and then we can kind of go from there. Mike, I was really interested and compelled in your story of missing out on the big cultural icon that was Harry Potter when you were growing up. And I know for most of us, we've all had that, at least that one thing in our life where we just happen to, whether because it was our guardians or parents that chose that we couldn't do this or whatever it might be, or just somehow we missed it. We just have those experiences in our life to where everyone understands it except for us. And that kind of started to make me think about, how does that shape you in some ways? And what do you feel like you're isolated from in that type of moment? As well as the whole idea of, like, we were all at this big podcast convention, and the whole idea of FOMO, fear of missing out, is very real. And we see it in social media. We see it in feeling like all of us probably ran ourselves to death while we were there because we felt like we needed to spend every moment that we could trying to make friendships and connections and not be taking care of ourselves. And it's like, you can sleep later,
Right.
So yeah, I just wanted to kind of hear for you, what was that experience like? And I also just wanted to ask, what were some of the things that y'all didn't experience that everyone else did, and you felt like you were shunned in some way, or maybe not shunned, but maybe, who knows? So yeah.
Yeah, I think the big thing with the whole missing the Harry Potter boat, I actually had a really profound view on this as a third grader or whatever when these books were coming out, is that the big reason I didn't read them is that I had read the first two Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe books when I was younger. And they were fine, but I really didn't enjoy them. I was like at the reading level to do it, because I was like advanced for my age or whatever. I was at the reading level to do it, but probably not at like the comprehension level to do it. So I was able to read everything, just not like grasp it. So I'd read those books, and they were probably like, it was before I should have, and I just like wasn't a big fan. So then when Harry Potter came along, I was like, I don't really like fantasy books. I much prefer these other books. Like I had sports books I really liked, or Holes by Louis Sachar is my favorite book as a kid. Just things where I could like more see myself, not necessarily seeing like a fantasy. So when it started to get really popular and everyone's like, oh, you got to read them, it felt gross to me, even as a 10-year-old, which like shout out to me for having my head on straight. It felt gross to me to be like, the only reason I would read this is because people are telling me to read this, and I don't like that. And I think that's something that has stuck with me pretty much throughout my life. Like doing Potterless was not because I wanted to finally read them and like get on this thing that I'd missed out on. It was because I thought it was going to be a funny podcast idea. So that I think is something that has stuck with me, which is good. On the flip side, I am the worst FOMO person ever in terms of like small little things. Like in college, I could not be the first person to leave a room of people hanging out, and I would like stay up so late just because what if something cool happens, like, and I don't want to get sleep and all this other stuff. And I think college was the first time I got really bad, because in high school I was just so busy that I didn't really have time to do all that stuff. I lived 45 minutes away from the school that I went to. I went to a private school in Texas, and my parents lived out in the burbs. So it would take me a long time to get to work to get to school. And I played sports. So basically all day during the week, I would just basically like wake up, go to school, play whatever sport I was doing, drive home, like shower, eat dinner, do my homework, go to sleep. So like I didn't have time to do other stuff during the week. And then on the weekend, I would just hang out with like the kids in my neighborhood, and that was it. So I never really had like a fear of missing out, just because like I didn't I didn't know things were happening. I didn't learn until like senior year at a New Year's party that people were like regularly having parties where they were drinking alcohol. I just like didn't know that was happening, because me and my group of friends were like not in that clique. We were the nerds that did extracurriculars, which in retrospect, best clique to be in. But when I came into college and there was like more stuff, people just like hanging out in dorm rooms or in hallways or in the common areas or whatever, that I became like really bad about, or like playing Smash Brothers or, you know, doing whatever. I definitely spread myself thin way too much in terms of that. And it's something I still struggle with today, is like seeing all that stuff. And that's why I've like made it a point to not look at like I stopped using Snapchat pretty early, and like Instagram stories I don't even watch that many of, because, and I try not even to like scroll Facebook, like the news feed, because, you know, we're all guilty of this, and I still do it. So I'm not saying I don't, but like all people do on social media is like post about good stuff, and you really can fall into the trap of the grass is always greener. And I had like things going really well in my life. And I remember at one point, like looking, being like, oh man, you know, whether I was seeing a Snapchat story or something, I was like, man, that looks like really fun. Like while I was, you know, on a trip with one of my closest friends, and I was like, what? I don't need this. Like things are good. I don't need to like worry about what other people are doing and like always be comparing. So I think since then I've really tried to take a dedicated effort to like not feel like I have to just do everything, and really kind of figure out what's important. Don't feel like I have to do something just because it's happening, but more so, if I am going to do it, it should be like with people that matter, or an event that matters. So like even at PodCon, you know, there's all this stuff going on and I feel like I'm missing out. But if my really close friends are doing a thing, I should do that and stick with that, rather than just like feel like I have to go to something that seems like it'll be cool. So that's been something that's really helped me since, is just really identifying like the people or the events that are important to you. And you can have a fear of missing out on those, but you don't have to like just fear out of missing out on something just because it's happening and you're not there. That's not a good enough reason to stick around or just be there because you think something cool might happen.
Yeah. How about you, Sarah? What did you miss out earlier in life, and has that affected you more broadly now?
It's so funny that you asked that, because it affects everything. I was you told me what this topic was going to be beforehand, and I was like, oh, Chris, let me tell you about my entire life. So growing up, I was not allowed to watch TV. And so, So kids would come to school and they would be talking about TV and movies. And it was just this like weird alien world to me that I didn't know. I read a lot of books. So books have always been a big part of my life. But was not allowed to watch TV. And I just remember like, oh, it's so embarrassing. Home Alone had just come out, and everybody was talking about how cute this like little kid was like in the movie. And I couldn't understand what they were saying. And I was like, what is a Macaulay Culkin? And like everybody around me just like lost it. And they're like, oh my gosh. Man. And you know, so of course that set me up for years and years. And like, I didn't watch Saved by the Bell. I didn't watch whatever everyone else was watching. And so that affected me, not only growing up in sort of adding to an isolated mindset, but also now I miss out on a lot of the nostalgia stuff. So like Fuller House came out and I kind of didn't care, because whatever. I didn't see The Goonies until I was in my 30s. And I was like, why does everybody like this movie? It's kind of gross and ugly. And everybody's like, well, you had to watch it when you were little. And, you know, I didn't have that. And so it's very interesting. And it's definitely informed a lot of me today. People are sometimes surprised when I tell them that Girl in Space is largely autobiographical. Like, it is about this like young woman who's isolated and all alone. And it's just... So it's really interesting to see these things come into my life now that I didn't have before, and understanding what it means to be not just alone physically but what it means to be alone mentally and socially and a whole bunch of other things. And so in a way it's bad, because I got like bullied for most of my life, and for other reasons too. But in a way it's good, because I think it's allowed me to like be a little bit more innovative. I don't have these tropes and things in my brain that maybe some other people do. I don't know. That's me like looking for a silver lining.
No, you're right. I think that being not cool in high school is like the best thing for you. Because you got to like earn your personality and you got to like develop something that makes you unique. Like I really had to work at being funny. And finally, by the end of senior year, I was like making witty remarks in class and stuff. Like I think not being hot / popular / cool, whatever in high school is so good. Because then you got to work and then you become a better person.
Yeah, you build character, right? Oh man, like I was like this weird loner and I had a hunchback because I had scoliosis really bad and then I'd get my spine fused and I had glass. Like I was just like the whole disaster. But Chris, what about you and your experience?
It's interesting. So I would probably say the most iconic thing that I have never seen that most people are surprised is I have never seen Titanic.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Me neither.
What? You haven't?
No. Should we watch Titanic together someday?
Maybe. Is it good? I don't know. The only thing I know about it, well, I know two things. I know that there's like a really steamy scene at one part, and and then I know because although I didn't know that, all of my friends were like, "You gotta watch it; it's amazing." Now, of course, this is when I was like 10, so that's
and your friends were all 58-year-old men.
Yeah,
you gotta watch the movie.
My boils. Sorry,
they're everywhere.
But then I also know about. I've seen the picture of, for some reason, like the very, very controversial experience of both people could have fit on the door at the end. And I've seen images of that and go, yeah, two people definitely could have been on that door. This seems strange to me. Wow, love is there until it's not, until you need to say, I'm good. But I think for me, I did experience a lot of things growing up. Like another example. So random fun fact, my dad, my entire life has been a DJ. Not for like a radio, but like for like weddings and like I grew up in a roller rink back when roller rinks were really big. And like, so the reason why I say that is because like a big thing was everyone was doing scouts, like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. And my dad had to have like that conversation with me at a young age of saying like, hey bud, like you can either do this and I'm not going to be able to be there on the weekends, or you can do stuff with me. I'm supportive of whichever one you want to do. And I was like, I want to hang out with my dad. And so,
good call.
Mostly what that left me with is a vast amount of knowledge of 60s through 80s music that most people my age don't know or don't really care to know. But I learned from a pretty early age of just kind of whether this was smart of me or not at the time, almost instead of me fearing what I was going to miss out, of just saying an alternative is I can make new things that others miss out on. You know what I'm saying? And I think that like, especially now when I reflect on some of the things that, like I did really want to see Titanic because everyone talked about it being the greatest movie of all time. And then like, it's often, you were talking about the Goonies, Sarah, like how often do people end up saying like, oh, I can't believe you didn't see that or experience
Constantly.
that. And then a lot of times you'll have someone say like, honestly, it was fine. You know, like, I mean, it's just kind of, and I think for me, what I've tried to do, sometimes with success, sometimes not with success, is just trying to say, okay, I can constantly fear what might happen, or I can embrace what I can while I'm with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can try and make equally as enjoyable experiences outside of that. And like the one thing that has resonated with me since college was, I don't know if you ever watched the show How I Met Your Mother, but like there's one episode where I can't remember the exact time. It's something like they say something like nothing ever good happens after 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. I can't. It's one of those two.
Is it? I think it's like a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, did I say p.m.? I meant to say
did.
a.m. Yeah.
Nothing good happens once the sun goes down.
You stay inside once it's 3 p.m. because that's dinner time. You have to rub your ointment. Rub your ointment? That's not what I'm trying to say. I'll stop. Yeah, I meant to say a.m. And I think it's kind of like it's a funny but really true statement. The idea of just saying, hey, you know what? Like some stuff, if it's really that good, it's okay. Like for instance, like I think we were saying earlier, like, hey, if I won the lottery, that'd be amazing. But also not walking around on a regular basis expecting that that's a real like reality for me. And so in the same type of way, I shouldn't have to expect that I leave this like social setting or I'm not on Facebook for this 4-hour period. I'm going to miss everything. And it's like, no, I can be online later and I'm going to see 100 memes of it. And I'm going to get to the point where day 3, I'm going to say I never want to see this again. And so like just realizing I'm trying to get more and more of that experience of saying, all right, instead of fearing what I might miss, I'm going to put that energy in to try and create another memory that might be just as enjoyable. So that's I've been working on it.
I like that a lot.
That's really self-aware of you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Especially because the whole fear of missing out thing is that you are afraid that whatever you're doing is not going to be as great as something else that's going on. So you really can just set yourself up for success. And this is something that I end up doing because my favorite kind of night, my ideal night now is that I just enjoy having a couple of my friends over, like cook some dinner, have some drinks, and then like either play a board game or like a Jackbox game or a video game or whatever. Like, hang out, like dinner, drinks in someone's apartment, get to know each other with like, 5 to 7, no more than 5 other people in the room, just like chill, more intimate kind of setting rather than go out to bars or whatever. And that's just like my cup of tea. And by scheduling that and like texting the people that I actually care about and making sure that evening is set up where like, they're going to be there, they're going to be there, they're going to be there. Sweet. I don't care about whatever else is happening on Snapchat, Instagram stories, Facebook, whatever, because my Saturday night is going to be with these 5 people I really care about doing something I really like. So whatever else is happening, I'm not missing out because I'm having a great time. So that's awesome. Of like a way to think of it is like you can create a situation in which you're not going to miss out because you're scheduling or like you're doing something that's better. And then even with people saying, oh, I can't believe you didn't see this, whatever. Like, isn't that like a bonkers thing to think, oh, I can't believe you didn't watch this thing that someone else made? Which, like, I don't know if it's just because I am a creator and we're all creators here and that's just like my mindset. But like, I haven't seen Game of Thrones either. And there's a bunch of other shows that I haven't watched or movies I haven't watched or whatever. And rather than people be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you even devoted X amount of hours to Game of Thrones. It's like, yeah, but I've devoted X amount of hours towards creating my own podcasts or like getting better at this sport I like or learning how to cook or learning a skill. I've just never been the type of person to binge a bunch of shows. If you like it, you do you, that's fine. But when people try to like shame you for not watching or consuming something that someone else did, it's like you can take all those hours and put them towards developing a skill. I don't get when people are like, oh yeah, like I watched The Office for the 8th time through the entire season. It's like, all of those hours, put it towards something. You can learn a language or something. There's so many other more productive things you can do.
I think for me, it gets easier when you get older too. Like in my 20s, I had that. And finally, I got to a place where I think you are, where I'm like, oh, I actually don't need all this other stuff to be happy. And now I'm in my mid-30s, and I'm like, I just DNGAF. I'm like, my ideal evening is like sitting on my couch in my sweatpants under a blanket, like drinking tea, and it's like 8:30.
Resting my boils.
Oh, yes. I know. Putting ointment on my boils.
Tannins.
Rubbing your ointment.
Yes.
My tannin, yes. Yeah. And I don't care anymore. I don't care what other people think of me. And maybe that's part of getting older. Maybe that's just part of my own maturing process. Boy, do I not care.
I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. That's why in college and in your younger years, you have the fear of missing out. You're really more concerned of what other people are thinking of you. And you're afraid that by not being at something, you're not going to be part of the fun thing. And then people won't think of you in that positive light, which...
Oh my gosh, yes.
Once you get older and you realize that's not important, like it's so much more important just to like find the people you do care about and find the things that are important to you. And then just focus on those. And that's what you have to do.
And I think for me... And I guess maybe this can be a somewhat way of wrapping up our ideas into one. I'm trying to embrace my inner Steven until...
Good.
But so maybe this is just me, but something I experienced pretty early on. So I've always been a pretty insecure kid and had to make jokes in order to try and... It's the classic story of have people laugh with me instead of laugh at me, that type of idea. But I think like when you spend so much time thinking about that, you end up often watching other people as well and trying to read the room. And what I've just learned time and time again, and it's only been confirmed through a lot of different things I've done, like for instance this podcast, where people are saying, wow, you're so brave. You're talking about like you're admitting to all these things that like you're vulnerable about. And I have to tell them, you do realize what you're saying. You're saying that I'm brave because I just told people that I'm not brave and I'm constantly scared. like I am very grateful for what you're getting at, but more of what it's like, I've realized everyone feels equally as inadequate. Well, not everyone, but I would say 99% of people feel equally as inadequate, and just realizing, wow, if we took all the energy of fear of missing out and just realize, hey, half of us in this room would rather go home and rest right now because this was a good night. Let's call it early. You know what I'm saying? That would be great.
PM. Wheel of Fortune is on.
It's past 2, so it's very late.
Oh gosh. Well, that was awesome. Thank you for sharing all the different experiences you've had.
Yes,
we're going to take a quick break, but we will be back with more Is This Adulting?
Hello, Internet. My name is Steven. You know me. I'm the guy that's usually on the show. I'm your food poisoning friend this week. And so I don't know if Chris has mentioned it or what's up, but y'all ate some bad sushi. I think that's probably the culprit. And I was in the hospital very briefly yesterday with some dehydration and food poisoning. So sorry I'm not on this week's episode. I'm still on the mend from that. But I will be back just as soon as I can. So first off, I just want to give you a little taste of what this is going to be like. And by first off, I mean just in general. So since we've revamped our Patreon and things like that, we're going to be doing this mid-roll just a little differently. It's kind of going to be our ad space. So what I'm going to do every week is I'm going to thank our Patreon supporters and let you know how you can be a part of that. And I'm also going to give you your weekly recommendation because that is something I really enjoy doing. So here we go. First off, this episode is brought to you in part by our Patreon supporters. We're so excited to have so many people jumping on board and increasing. So I want to say thanks to all our new and increasing Patreon supporters: Haley Lyon, Marlena, Zachary A, Jen H, Tiffany K, Katie B, Megan M, and the Stick Boy Ghost. Thank you so much, which is the best name ever, by the way. Thank you so much for all your support. As we've increased the pledges, we're super excited to be getting all this extra content out to you. So now, on top of getting weekly after shows, you're going to be getting at least twice a month bonus episodes. On top of that, merch, all sorts of different things. So definitely, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the new Patreon tiers or joining the giving family, you can head over to patreon.com/isthisadulting. It really helps us out and it helps us make the show and be able to travel to awesome events where we meet awesome other hosts, which is how we got hosts like Mike from this week and different folks like that. So definitely check that out. Also want to let you know about our shirt of the month. Hey, our shirt of the month is out right now. We released it a couple weeks early. So our first shirt of the month is a Visit Loru tourism shirt. And y'all, I have to get one of these myself. I'm super excited about it. It looks super rad. Our designer did it, and I'm super pumped for everybody to be getting these. They are selling fast. So definitely check it out. If you'd like to see it, you can click the merch tab on our website, isthisadultingpod.com. And last but not least, I want to give you that weekly recommendation. So this week, my recommendation for you is to stop what you're doing right now. No, put that coffee down. Put it down, Linda. I know what you're doing. Put it down. And you're going to want to, I can't say words, y'all. You're going to want to go watch the new season of Broad City, which just premiered. Go to comedycentral.com, wherever, watch the first episode. It was great. I've been watching a lot of things while I've been laid up, but I've been catching up on my shows. And Broad City, watching the premiere was one of the first things I did. It's super good, y'all. I love Broad City. If you don't know that about me, with Alana Glazer and the lovely Abby Jacobson, whose book I am staring at now. That is the next in my read pile. I'm super excited about that. But definitely check out the new premiere Broad City. It is all shot as one big Instagram story, which is super cool. So it's got stickers and all sorts of things too. So definitely check it out. Have fun. Enjoy your lives in this episode without me. I miss you all. You're my sweet, sweet babies. And I will see you next week.
All right, we're back, babies.
Hey.
That was weird. It's time to play a game. No more babies. Sorry.
You unleashed your inner Mike Schubert there. I love it.
Yeah, that's what it was. Now, I have a question for you both. This is a game that we played before. I don't know, did you ever have those fun moments where like you'd be hanging out with your friends growing up at a sleepover or something, and there was a game where the more adult version is called get ready everyone, if you got some kids in the room, fuck, marry, kill.
Whoa.
Yeah, so just so you're aware, where pretty much you take three people and Hunger Games style choose which one you're going to murder, which one you're going to do a dirty deed with, and which you're going to pretty much become your forever mate, I guess is the best way of deciding it.
Yeah.
Well, we've decided to take that idea and alter it slightly because we don't want to just focus on people. We want to focus on all types of stuff. And so we're going to add things to this, places, ideas. You get the drift. And in honor of you, Mike, we're going to make this Harry Potter theme.
Oh, good.
And it's a game that I call Hitch, Itch, or Ditch. So let me explain how this works. I'm going to name 3 Harry Potter-related things. Mm-hmm. We are all going to have to choose which of the 3 we would want to kind of, when I say get hitched, not necessarily marry. In some cases that might be, but more of just say, this is the one I want to commit to. This is my ride or die for the long haul. Which one is going to be that one time, let's scratch an itch, don't constantly want it, but I'd be okay this once. And which one would you rather say goodbye to forever, to ditch before it even starts? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start. We will start with people because let's start from there. And I consider doing a lot of different type of people, but I decided I wanted to go with the main 3. So let's just go from there. So Ron, Hermione, and Harry. We will start with which one are you going to hitch? Are you going to commit and this can be a platonic relationship. This can be whatever. Just saying, this is the one person that I'm going to defend and I care about more than the others. So Mike, why don't you begin? Which one are you going to commit to?
I am locking Hermione down real quick. Mm-hmm. She is perfection. She does everything. Okay. She takes care of everything. She has her shit together so much and in so many ways. I think it would be a foolish decision not to, especially now that I've been reading the 7th book where she literally puts the entire team on her back. Like, you got to call the chiropractor because everything's on her back, and she has been killing it repeatedly over and over again. So yeah, definitely pitching Hermione.
Sarah, are you in the same boat?
I am.
Yeah.
I literally cannot go with any other choice.
No.
And there's good reason, because that's the only correct answer.
Right.
Hermione.
Like, what else would I want in a life mate?
It's almost to a point where when you really start thinking about it on this level of saying, Ron and Harry are trash in comparison.
Oh, they're awful. They're so bad. So bad.
Why is Hermione with them? Like,
I have no idea. She's so much better than them.
She was bad in the first book. She was very annoying, and they tolerated her, and that was it. And thank goodness they tolerated her, because they won that lottery big time.
Oh my gosh! I mean, seriously, that's what it came down to. Is like, maybe she has fear of missing out on having better people in her life, because I don't understand.
Well,
it's very upsetting to me.
She has like 0 flaws.
Yet people still. I don't know.
She's not perfect, but she's very close.
She's
so
pretty
close
darn close.
She can be a little too stubborn at times, or not necessarily have the faith in people all the times. But the pros outweigh the cons a millionfold. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. So I'm very glad we're in agreement on this one because I was worried people may feel differently. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, now we're going to go to which one is going to scratch that itch. Now, this can be whatever you want to mean. This can be a romantic fling. This can be the person like, hey, I'd be friends with them. Maybe not the closest, but there'd be a good hang every now and then. Which one is going to be that, Sarah? We'll start with you.
I'm going with Harry for this one.
Okay. And what's your thought behind it? Because he has some danger.
I don't know. He seems like he would just provide interest. If I can make that as like clinical and cold as possible. He just seems like he's kind of fun. I like the element of danger. You kind of don't know what he's going to do. He's a wild card. I kind of like that.
Okay. How about you, Mike?
I'm going to go with Ron, and the itch is going to be in like the being a friend type of thing, just so that I can get the in with the Weasley family and then hang out with Ginny, Fred, George, and Charlie, and Molly, and Arthur. Like, that's the real play. And it can't be like a hookup situation, because then the family, like any good family, should be like, if we were to break up or whatever, you can't be like, oh my goodness, can't see him anymore. So it definitely has to be the itch and like the, oh yeah, I've hung out with Ron a couple of times. Oh, let's hang out at the Burrow. I'm now best friends with your family and I never talk to you again. That's what we're working for. Yeah.
I'm with you on this. And I'm going to now begin with my first hot take of the night. And this is going to transition us into the last one.
Okay.
The reason why I choose Ron is because I hate Harry.
What?
Yeah, I mean, Harry kind of sucks.
He's just a whiny baby half the time, and they're not all the time.
He's going through a lot, but yeah.
Now, to be fair, that is true. If we want to talk about someone who has the real, I would say you're going to give the benefit of the doubt for it. Like, I get it. I do understand. There's not much more trauma a person can go through than the amount of things that he does. But when I really think about it, especially as the books continue, I just like him less and less than like I love Hermione, like Ron, even though there's a few points, especially in the last book where he kind of is like, okay, you're being the worst. You're being the worst right now. Like, it really comes down to that's a great family that you can do, and Harry, he's fine. I don't know. It's just a lot of attention.
The attention. That's a big thing. He is very self-absorbed, and this is something that I was editing on the train home. The episode Potter's that's coming out on Monday covers chapter 10 of book 7, and there's a point where like it's when they all sleep at Grimmauld Place after escaping from the Death Eaters at the wedding and stuff. And Harry sees Ron and Hermione like sleeping. They like fell asleep close to each other, and he thinks that they were like holding hands in their sleep. And his first thought is like, "Oh no, this is going to be really awkward if they break up," or like, "Oh no, this like where's my girlfriend?" Like, Harry's first thought is always like, "Oh no, what about me?" And that is just draining after a while. His constant thought is always just like, "Oh, but how does this affect me, Harry Potter?"
Yeah.
But he's also been like nurtured into that, you know?
Right. It's not saying that it's his fault. He is like the worst family situation ever, and that his parents were viciously murdered and his step-parents are the worst garbage sauce people of all time. But
he's a product. He's a product of what has happened. And I can understand that, while simultaneously saying, I'm going to pick the other two over you, my dear Harry. I think if I'm just being honest, but please, we've been bad mouthing the beautiful Harry Potter. Please, why don't you tell us why you're going to ditch Ron? Is that right?
Yes, I'm going to ditch Ron because he's just, oh my gosh, he's just like a diaper full of like smashed up peas. He's just so. Oh, I just don't like him. He's so drippy. Like, he's just, there's just,
drippy.
He has zero redeeming qualities. Like he's either
ointment on a boil, very drippy.
Yes, exactly. Or like the pus inside of a boil.
Wow.
You're welcome for that image.
Like the tannins of a wine. Now you're back.
Tannins.
Yes.
Yeah, no, he has zero redeeming qualities. Like, he's kind of nice, and he kind of almost has a sense of humor. He's just so, Oh, he's just so revolting in so many ways. Like he's always just whining and complaining. Like if like he's like a toxic friend.
I think what this has just proved more than anything else is what we started at the beginning of this. Why is Hermione with these people?
Yes, I know, because they're both garbage.
Hermione is amazing. And these two guys, they're okay, but they also suck.
They're fine at best. And the thing is, Hermione, the thing with Ron is that you're right, Sarah. Like I feel like he's like almost good at a lot of stuff. And then other people have to like get him over the hump. Like he's almost loyal completely, but then he ditches them that one time in the second book. And like he's almost funny a lot, but sometimes can't take a joke well, you know? And so I feel like he does get close in a lot of different areas. I think he is doing very well for himself by being with Hermione, because I think she will bring out all those things and put him over the edge and make him a better person. I think with both Harry and Ron, I think at the ages they are in the books, they suck. But I think that they are both very good candidates for, once they grow up, growing into really great men. I just think at the point in time where we read about them, they're kind of the worst. But we're all kind of the worst in high school. Like
that's fair. That's fair.
We were all
so.
Bad.
I just had an amazing thought, and I do think that this has something to do with why Hermione chooses to be around them.
Go on.
There is psychological evidence that when one experiences trauma with others, they're able to form a bond that otherwise does not always make sense.
They say that in the first book, that when they get out of the Sorcerer's Stone thing, it's like from that moment on they were inseparable, just because they went through hell and back together and fought Voldemort together.
And you're sitting there thinking, wow, this is the only reason why she's with these two fellas.
They are so lucky that they were with her for that.
Trauma bonding.
That is one of the few things where they can say, wow, I'm glad I was traumatized.
Because then we got Hermione.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, so let's keep moving on.
Okay.
We're now going to move to something different, and that is forms of travel that are in this book. I'm going to give 3 of the more common ones.
Okay.
So one is the ability to apparate or disapparate, where you can just immediately just boom and you go somewhere else. It's like transporting, pretty much, is the best way for those who don't know. There's the broom, the classic broom. It's not the most efficient way, but hey, sometimes it's the old faithful way. And then finally, the flu network, which is where you have some fun powder, you throw it into
a fireplace.
It's always a fireplace, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then you just step into the crazy, scary fire, then you pop somewhere else. So these are the 3 ways, and we're going to start this time. We'll start with you, Sarah. And which one are you going to commit to as your go-to?
Apparating. But also, I kind of feel like we should have started with you. I'm being a bad co-host, but
me?
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm in agreement. It's
so
for me.
It's
apparating.
So we can all go through.
Okay. Everybody's apparating.
Teleporting. Like I'm late to everything, so apparating would be huge.
The 2 things that I don't like about apparating, just for at first it's painful, which that's a little scary until you get used to it. And I think the number one thing that I don't like about apparating is less about me apparating somewhere. It's more how freaking scared I would be if out of nowhere someone appeared.
And then it makes the big crack noise.
Exactly. And that is one of the things about apparating that makes me just say, like, it almost seems to just... It seems too powerful of a weapon to have in this world. Like, just can you imagine a haunted house, but where they could apparate right in front of you? My God. Like,
terrifying.
I feel like with something like this, there has to be a cost, right? Because the benefit is so great. So, like, maybe every time you apparate, it takes a year off your life. Or, I feel like there's some kind of cost that we don't know about, right?
They do have a limit of how far you can apparate. And then I think there's also a limit with how precise you can apparate. Because in book 6... there's a thing of where Harry and Dumbledore just can't apparate right to like the beginning of the cave or like in the middle of the water, because they're not exactly sure where they'll end up. And then also in book 7, there's a thing where Voldemort is like coming back from murdering Grindelwald to like get back to Malfoy Manor, and they say that he has to get close enough within apparating distance. They never explicitly say what that is, so I guess that would be the limitation rather than having like a price to pay, so to speak.
Yeah. But I do have a good price to pay. If just every time you apparate, you pee a little bit. Not
That's
much,
chill.
just a little bit.
Give me a diaper. Let's do it.
Literally appurate. And I wasn't even trying to go for that until this moment. I was
Proud
just
of you. Very proud.
I
of
think
you.
that is
Yes.
I think that's the good. That's what we're going to create as a disadvantage.
I like
Okay,
it.
so we all agree that's the number one away. What is going to be the thing that scratches the itch for us?
I will scratch the itch for a broom. And it's
Okay.
more so
Same.
just because the flu network is unreliable and regulated by the government, which is corrupt, and very weirdly limited by fireplaces. Like you have like if you don't have a fireplace in your home, I don't know, it just seems very strange and very limiting to have a physical thing that defines where you can go. It's like, oh, I really want to go to lunch here. Oh, well, that place doesn't have a fireplace, so we can't go there. Or you'll have to go somewhere else and then walk.
You're never going to the Bahamas,
right?
That's for sure.
Yeah, you can't like just go to an island place unless they specifically have just built a fireplace in the middle of the beach. So I would go with a broom for the itch. Like brooms would be fun. It's fine, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely more dangerous in that you can just fall off. But I will say, like, it would be fun to do once.
be
But if I
fun.
could apparate, I'd be like, yeah, this is better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
like-
yeah. Are you in the same boat?
Oh, I'm in absolutely the same
Yeah,
boat.
I think we're all. I think we're all on the same
So,
page.
so
which is
are
really
we?
good.
So what are we ditching here?
Oh,
It's
Flu
got to be the
Network,
Flu
baby.
Network because it's fine, but I think you bring a very good point where it's unreliable, and even small things like the whole idea of you can say something slightly the wrong way,
Right,
and
yeah.
and like you have a cold one day. And all of a sudden, you say the wrong place, and next thing you know, you're way far away. So it's just too many. There's too many things put to chance that.
And like wearing
that I
white
don't
pants.
Oh,
Ever.
and I
Yeah.
do like to wear white pants.
I know my white linen pants. Never.
yeah, goodness.
Yeah, it's a no-go.
Okay,
That's a no-go.
all right. Well, here's going to be the last one.
Suede shoes.
Congratulations, we've all become students at Hogwarts, and we have 3 classes to pick from. And this is to be clear, this is not professor dependent. This is
Okay.
just the class themselves. So the 3 classes are potions, defense against the dark arts, and care of magical creatures. So I tried to pick 3 that were kind of different and in different type of kind of personality traits. So why don't we start with Mike? Which one are you going to? It's going to be your ride or die. Which one are you going to hitch to?
I think I'm going to go with Defense Against the Dark Arts because it seems like the most interesting and the most useful. I definitely enjoy having the skills to keep me alive. That sounds really good. To just do the stuff that protects you from scary things. So I would say that. I feel like it'd be the most fun to learn about. It would be the most fun to put into practice. And I think it would be the most useful overall.
Nice. Sarah, where are you going?
I'm going with care of magical creatures. Purely selfish. Oh, this is the most selfish thing ever. I just want to snuggle all of the magical creatures. I don't care how many like
That's a bad
fangs they have.
Mm-hmm.
I want snuggles. Magical
Yeah.
snuggles.
It's funny you say that because I feel like I should do a little bit of snap tannins for you because
tannins,
that's 100% of the reason why I picked care of magical creatures as well. And it's just because the idea of being able to major and hanging out with animals all day long. Sure, there's some that are kind of scary, but overall, wow.
Yeah.
I love it so much. All right, so now it's time to scratch that itch. What is going to be that one-time thing for you?
You want to go
You get
first, Chris?
You got one minor, so to speak. Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Okay, what's
I
your
got-
minor?
I got a minor. I'm going to go with defense against the dark arts because here's the thing. That is a sexy, sexy major. It is. But as I've mentioned, I'm not the bravest boy. And the last thing I want to do is equip myself for pretty much one profession. And that profession is to constantly embrace how scared I would have to be. So like being able to learn a few basic spells to be able to say like, all right, I can hold my own if absolutely necessary, but not enough where I have to constantly be around the scary. So that's me. Sarah, which one are you going to go with?
I'm going with potions.
Potions.
Because I am not a like jump head first or feet first into anything. I like to sit back and figure things out and use like strategy. And I feel like potions and defense against the dark arts are maybe a little bit similar. One is just a little bit less athletic perhaps. And if I can get away with like thinking my way through which potion to use to get out of a bad situation, I think I'd like to do that. We'll say I'm more on the like stealth side of things.
Makes sense. It makes sense. What's gonna scratch that itch for you, Mike?
I'm gonna go with hair magical creatures because I think it'd be fun to learn about some of them, but not all of them. I don't need to learn about flobberworms. I'm chill.
Yeah,
but I do want to learn about unicorns and glass-ended scroots. So I feel like scratching the itch just because I'm definitely interested in magical creatures, but just some of them, not all of them. I'm not gonna get super heavily invested.
That's fair.
That's a great point. And so for me, I think me and Mike are on the same page. We're going to be ditching potions. My reason why is just, again, it has nothing to do in this moment of a specific professor. It's just potions reminds me of baking.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say I would ditch potions because I can buy a cookbook. Like it's not hard to do. Yeah, you're just following instructions.
And for me, it's even a different aspect. Baking stresses me out because it's like too the precise. Amount. It's too precise. And like I think like the whole idea of, I love the idea of being able to create really cool. I mean, like for instance, like I loved in Goblet of Fire, like the ability to come up with this amazing way that was different than everyone else through the gillyweed of being able to like survive. That was awesome. But also, you could have 1 teaspoon too much, and you could just have a shark head. You know what I'm saying? Or just something different. And that's the type of stuff that's a dangerous game for me. That just, I know I'm going to fail every single time.
Yeah, it's why I like cooking more than baking. I love cooking. I despise baking because cooking you can fix on the spot and it's more improvised. But I think it like talks to my personality because I love doing improv comedy and I'm not a big fan of stand-up. I like being able to just like do stuff on the fly. So I think like with baking, it's always just like you have to be so precise and take so much time. Whereas like cooking, do that, do this. Oh, it's too salty. Put more of this in, that kind of thing. And with potions as the class, it's just, I don't know. If I really need a potion, I'll just buy it. Like, I'll just go to the store. I don't need to make my own and have a cauldron and all this other shenanigans. It's like, nah, if I need something, I'll buy it off of, Wizard, Amazon, or whatever. Go to Wizard Walmart, get it there. If I really need to make some stuff, I'll look up the instructions online, or if it's the Harry Potter age and it's the 90s, I'll go to, Wizard Borders and get a book.
I like it. Wizard Borders. All right, Sarah.
Whatever the bookstore is.
So what are you ditching
or whatever.
at the end of the day? You said defense?
I guess I'm ditching like kind of by default, not because it doesn't sound cool, but just because I feel like the other two are more suitable to my interests. So
nice.
I was just such a huge nerd, though. Like, I loved, like, chemistry class, and this is kind of how I see potions. I'm like, ooh, let's do a titration, and,
I also
hated
chemistry, so.
Oh, I loved it. I was
a physics boy. I was a mechanical engineer. Yeah, I wanted one of the classes to be arithmancy. That's the one I really want to take it on.
I see, that would be cool.
I considered that. I when I was putting the list together, I was like, gosh, there's so many more classes than I even remember. So we start with that. But all right, thank you so much for playing Hitch or Ditch with me. That is going to have to wrap up this week's episode, unfortunately. But if you have not had enough, everyone, we're going to continue this conversation over for a few minutes over on Patreon for our weekly after show. So if you want to hear more, all Patreon supporters at the $5 level will receive an after show each week. What do you expect to hear from this week? Well, we're going to be talking with Mike and Sarah about this very important question. What would you do, or what would you most want if you lived in Harry Potter's world? You can only select one thing, so that's what we're going to that's what we're going to talk about. And you can find that over at Patreon if you want. If you want to find out how to become a patron, just go to our show notes today, and you'll be able to do that. Also, if you have any mental health check-ins we talked about earlier, if you want your voice heard, please send that over to our Gmail at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. Follow us on our different social media platforms, whether it's Twitter at isthisunderscoreadulting, our Facebook page, or most importantly, if you want to find a really great group to be able to discuss, have conversations with, be open, and share what's going on in your life, the Is This Adulting Best Friends is where you can do that. We would love to thank our wonderful friends, The Collection, the band that lets us use the theme music every single week. It's The Borrowers, and it's off their album Ars Moriendi. But now let's get into, I have to thank you both. Mike, first of all, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. It was super fun. I had a blast.
It was great. And Sarah, thank you for helping me attempt to host today. It was amazing.
Well, thank you. The pleasure is 100% all mine. And I hope Stephen comes back soon.
I do as well, because he needs to do this, not me. But why don't we both, Mike, why don't you start by reminding everyone where they can find you and your projects online?
Right. If you want to find me on stuff, it's at Schub17 on pretty much everything. If you want to find my podcasts, Potterless, just search for Potterless wherever. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. I feel very good about my Twitter game. If you just like silly Harry Potter tweets, even if you don't listen to the show, I would say check out Potterless Pod on Twitter. And then for Horse the Basketball Show, it's Horse Hoops, except for Twitter, it's Horse_Hoops, because Horse Hoops was banned. And one day I'll find out why that Twitter account didn't just get taken, but banned.
Mike, I told you. It's Big Horse.
But that's it.
They're coming for you.
It's Glenn.
They're coming for you. Oh, wow. One handle at a time. Sarah, where can people find you and your projects on the internet?
People can find me in two major places. Number one, at my website, sarahwerner.com. That's SARAHWERNER.com. Otherwise, I am on Twitter, Instagram, all the places, mostly Twitter. And you can find me there at Sarah Ray Werner. That's SARAHRHEAWERNER, or Girl in Space Pod. So I'm there, I'm tweeting, I'm talking about things. Come hang out with me. Oh, and you can also listen to my shows.
Thank you both.
That's a thing.
Oh yeah, please. That's the whole point. Please tell them that.
Oh, I totally forgot. I have two podcasts right now, and then Girl in Space, both of which you can find on all the places.
Perfect.
I am done now.
Well, thank you both again. I appreciate we attempting to do this together. This was a good moment for us all. I think we should all wrap up with one more snap tannins.
Tannins, just tannins.
Yeah.
Tannins.
Well, that is going to do it for us this week on Is This Adulting? I have been your best friend, Chris.
I have been your best friend, Sarah.
And I'm your new best friend, Mike.
Woo!
And remember, kids, be happy, stay healthy, and go hug someone, because you never know. Your friend may just have food poisoning and has been on the toilet, and now it's their home. So, Stephen, we're thinking of you. We're thinking about you, but not necessarily like what you're doing right now. So bye, Stephen. We love you. And bye, everyone. We'll talk with you soon.
Bye.